What is up? What is up? What is up, everybody? This is your boy Is Nefarious here, and I am here with another edition of your favorite series. As you can see, we got the Premier Madden League gear on. That means we're doing another Here We Go episode. This is episode 4, week 4 of season 1. We are taking on the Green Bay Packers. Without further ado, let's just jump into it and see what we're doing today. Alright, so here we are. The first thing that came up on our main menu of our franchise was a QB1 press conference. Never dealt with it before, so let's see exactly what it is. Coach, your team has struggled out of the gate so far, and when that happens, a lot of the blame is usually on the quarterback or placed on the quarterback. Who needs to step up? Do we need Big Ben to step up, or do we need the team to step up? So based on, if we're looking at it realistically, we're going to say Big Ben. We're going to say Big Ben. A main reason is there was a couple missed throws late in that game where we could have came out with the win. He missed those throws. So it wasn't me, it wasn't anybody else. Wide open guys just missed those throws. So we're going to put the blame on Big Ben and see what happens. I think blame is a strong word, but that's part of being a quarterback. When the team is slumping, everybody is looking. I couldn't finish reading it. Beat the Packers and have 3+ passing touchdowns with Big Ben. So basically, it's given an ultimatum for Big Ben, because if he doesn't get this, his morale would plummet. That's what I'm assuming. Not sure what's going to happen, but we need to get 3+ TDs. So that might change our game day goals. That might change our game plan. That might change everything. So we got some players ready to negotiate, so let's dive into that. Let's see who is up on contracts that we don't know of and who we could re-sign right now. So TJ Watt, we're going to show you what he wants right now. He wants $153 million over 6 years, so he wants a hefty contract. Melvin Ingram himself, he wants 21 over 2 years, so he wants a hefty contract as well. Juju is looking for $22.7 million over 3 years, so he's looking for a big contract. We got a lot of guys looking for a big contract. We are not signing all three, and the odd man out right now is Melvin Ingram, 110%, because he has not been performing for us, and he is definitely somebody that we don't care to lose. Eric Ebron is also on a contract. He wants 13.9 over 4 years, so 29.1 total. Yeah, so he wants 13.9 over 4 years. Then we got this guy, Joe Hayden. He's not ready. Trey Turner, Big Ben, all these guys not ready to negotiate. These are the only guys ready to negotiate, and we're not ready to sign any of them yet. TJ Watt could be moved. Juju. Next week we'll go into the ultimatum, see where they are right now. But I don't believe TJ Watt has a sack yet. So hopefully this game is a lot better for them. They got a really weak offensive line. And speaking of their offensive line, let's jump over to the roster and take a look at it. So here we are at the Packers roster, and as you can see, you got Aaron Rodgers at the helm. It's pretty much the same roster. No trades yet. I don't believe I've seen one of his trades come through. Aaron Jones, AJ Dillon, Jace Sternberger. Then you got Devontae Adams, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Robert Tonyan. And when I was looking and playing some videos of this guy playing, he really loves crossers. The scout report pretty much is crossers. He will take underneath if the cross is not there. So maybe some able coverages to combat that. But he also doesn't throw over the middle. He doesn't like to throw over the middle. He likes to be in shotgun. He likes to play action out of shotgun. He likes to get out of the pocket with Aaron Rodgers, depending on which way he's throwing the ball. He'll roll left if he's throwing left. He'll roll right if he's throwing right. He's definitely not afraid to get out of the pocket. And as you can see, the offensive line is really weak, especially at that right tackle position. And we have TJ Watt on the left outside linebacker position. So hopefully he could take advantage of that. On the defensive side, their defense is pretty good. I don't really scout the defense as much. I kind of read and react based on what's going on. He does like to run with routes. He'll run with one drag and then turn around, run the other way. So once he passes off something, it's pretty safe that we could go that way. So we might wait until he passes it off, and then once he passes it off, we'll hit the open guy. He's got Kenny Klotz, Darius Smith, Chris Barnes, Rashawn Gary, Jair Alexander. You definitely don't want to go anywhere near him. He's a top corner for a reason. He's got a really fast young corner behind him as well, Darnell Savage, and then Adrian Amos. So a pretty solid team all in all. And like I said, he's a crosser heavy type of guy. He throws mostly to the sideline. Like I said, he doesn't throw over the middle. He likes to roll out when he throws, and he also likes to hit. He likes to hit Aaron Jones out of the backfield with the little wheel route. So we also got to watch out for that. So let's take a look at the X factors real quick and see what he's got. Taking a look at the X factors for the Packers, you got Aaron Rodgers. He's got Gambler, Dashing Deadeye, Pass Lead Elite, Roaming Deadeye, Gunslinger, Conductor. This man has a ton of abilities. Definitely somebody that is going to be a headache to deal with. Then Jair Alexander, he's got Shutdown. He's got Short Route KO, Deep Route KO. Devontae Adams has Double Me, Deep Out Elite, and then Red Zone Threat. So he is a problem as well. Very good team, the Green Bay Packers, especially Madden-wise. Zadarius Smith, he has El Toro and Mr. Big Stop. Start 3rd and 4th down with half of your pass rush points. All right, so I've never seen that one, or maybe it's been in game and I just never came across it for some reason. Aaron Jones, matchup nightmare, and then recuperation. Inside stuff with Kenny Clark, so we might want to avoid him on the inside runs. Might have to run to the outside a little more with Najee Harris, kind of stay away from the inside. And then he has instant rebate. Nothing that's going to hurt us with the instant rebate because you have to use him for the instant rebate, I believe. David Bakhtiari, I believe that's how you pronounce that. Mally, I know you're watching. You can make fun of me in Gen Chat if it's wrong. All day, better protection against frequent shed attempts, edge protector, stronger pass protection versus elite rushers. So if he puts him on the same side as TJ Watt, then he'll be all set. But if he doesn't make that adjustment, I think we'll be golden. Speaking about TJ Watt and our team, there is some storylines to talk about. We have the Juju Smith-Schuster storyline, and let's jump over to his stats just to show you what I mean. Alright, so here we are with the stats for Juju Smith-Schuster on the season. As you can see, great first game, 5 receptions, 166 yards, and a touchdown. The last 2 games haven't been so great to him, and that's basically the storyline with him. He is very unhappy. He's still our wide receiver 1, but he hasn't seen the ball as much as he did in the first game. So we still have to work on getting him involved. Right now, we need for him to stay on the team and not get traded, he needs 75 yards per game. I want to trade Juju Smith-Schuster. I'm not doing this on purpose. It's just the way the games are rolling out. He's not really been used. Other storylines, Melvin Ingram was limited last week. Now he's full-on backup this week. He'll probably see some snaps, but he is going to see less and less snaps. He then once again missed a sack in the game against the Bengals. Luckily, Cameron Hayward or somebody cleaned it up right after, so we were able to get the sack. But he missed a sack, and Alex Highsmith, talk about taking advantage of your opportunity. He jumps into the starting lineup, and he has 4 sacks on the season already. I'm pretty sure he leads the team in sacks right now, so he will be taking over as our starting right outside linebacker. But this week he won't. I don't think he'll begin any sacks because he's going up against David Bakhtiari. If I mispronounce that again, then so be it. I'm living with the sword, dying by the sword. So I'm actually going to make a change here because I want TJ Watt feasting on the low overall left tackle that they got playing right tackle right now. So I'm going to have him as a rush left end, and then we're going to move Alex Highsmith as a right rush end. So then we got Cameron Hayward in the middle as always, but that's only in nickel packages. And as you can see, he is now the starter at right outside linebacker as well. Like I said, 4 sacks, takes advantage of the opportunity getting the start, shows out, and now it puts Melvin Ingram strictly on the bench. Now taking a look, I want to show our division. So we are 0-3, and then we got the rest of our division that already played, and we got 2 teams at 0-4, and we got 1 at 1-3. So if we win, we're tied for first once again. The AFC North is looking horrific right now, with our leader of the group at 1-3, the Cincinnati Bengals, who we just lost to last week. So you know, it's definitely up for grabs still for us. We also got a player returning from injury. I haven't really taken a look at this. It's going to be Cameron Sutton. He had the week. No, it wasn't Cameron Sutton. It was one of the other corners. It just takes us over there. I Oh, it was Witherspoon. It was Witherspoon who was injured for his last week. So let's make sure he's in. As you can see, oh, he's still injured. So it was somebody else. Okay, it was Justin Lane. Justin Lane's the other one. Because it was Justin Lane and Witherspoon who got injured. Justin Lane had the 1 week. Witherspoon has 2, so he's out for 1 more week. We're going to move Justin Lane up. We want him our number 3 corner. He is very close to taking over for Joe Hayden. That's another storyline. Joe Hayden hasn't been performing well, so he's actually going to move down in the depth chart to the number 2 corner. Cameron Sutton, who had the dev game, is going to move up 1. And then Justin Lane is sitting right behind Joe Hayden, but very soon Joe Hayden could end up being the odd man out in this defensive backfield. And we're actually going to put Joe Hayden in the slot, see if he has a little more success there. So Joe Hayden moves to the slot. Hopefully he has a little more success. We're going to continue riding out with Big Ben, even though he had a horrific game last game. If you didn't watch, let's jump over to the stats real quick and we'll take a look at what he had. Alright, so here we are looking at Big Ben, and he finished with a 61.4 rating, 314 yards, 3 touchdowns, but 7 interceptions. We should have took him out at 5 interceptions. Really wasn't thinking about it, especially since I had to leave, so it wasn't even on my mind at the time. 51% completion percentage. A lot of those completions that weren't completions went over to the Bengals team, so that's an extra 7. Not a very good game, but we are riding it out with Big Ben. We are not switching. Nobody is coming in and starting over Big Ben. He will be the starter for this season. Next season is another story. Remember, we have that ultimatum for him to reach for him to become the automatic starter next season. Maybe it might even force us to only give him a franchise tag instead of a longer deal. I don't know what he wants at this point, but it might hinder what we give him at the end of the season as far as a contract renewal. But we will not let him go elsewhere. We're going to give him what he wants to an extent. We're definitely not going to pay over 20-something million for Big Ben, who's definitely going to depreciate next season. That throw power could be lower than 87. The accuracy could go down as well. So definitely don't want to hitch our wagon to something like that. So, but Big Ben is going to be our starter for the rest of the season as we take on the Green Bay Packers. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We had a practice squad player signed. All right, Dan Moore Jr., we're not worried about it. He's not one of our protected players, so that's fine. We got to go through the weekly strategy, so let's do that real quick, and then we'll jump back with you. All right, so here we are at the end of the weekly strategy, planning for our game against the Green Bay Packers. As I said, he likes his crossers, so we are defending the deep pass. He likes his deep crossers. We are going to keep everything in front of us, especially Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, having a strong passing attack. He likes to attack the defense, so we're going to try to maintain that, maybe drop our curl flats into a 25-yard zone, something like that. We're going to try to combat that and make sure he can't beat us with those deep crossers. On offense, we are going to focus on a short pass. He likes to call a lot of cover 3. He doesn't like to put hard flats out there. He will sometimes throw a Mabel coverage at you, so we'll have to look at the middle of the field. If they start vacating the middle of the field, we'll start attacking them in the seams, especially with against the cover 3. When it comes to the weekly game plan, we're going to go through that real quick. For the weekly game plan, we had 5 sacks, but we'll get to that first. First, the head coach game plan. Win turnover battle. That's what I'm preaching. Most of the time when you win the turnover battle, you win the game. So that's number 1. When it comes to the offensive coordinator right now, we want to lead by 9 at halftime. That's going to be the goal, having a good strong lead going into half. Defensive coordinator, sack the QB 3 times. Like I said, the offensive line, especially on that right side, is really weak. So hopefully we could get some sacks on Aaron Rodgers, and hopefully we could keep him from getting outside the pocket. Weekly game plan, we're going 5 sacks. Again, sticking with the fact that he has a weaker offensive line, specifically on one side. We should be able to get some pass rush on that side. So hopefully we get the 5 sacks and we get some more staff points. We needed at least 30, I believe, to upgrade anything. So We have the staff points on slow on the Premier Madden League. When it comes to the focus players, Najee Harris was the player of the game last week, so he's going to stick there. Then we get to put somebody else we want in there since Najee Harris ain't going to be there. Minkah Fitzpatrick is not the one on defense. It's actually Alex Highsmith, so we're going to get him in there. He's a star, so he's going to get some good XP for that. As far as the extra player that I want to dev up, do we have an offensive line with that? We'll give it to Kevin Dotson. We really need to upgrade that, and offensive line really don't get no love when it comes to game plan and game day XP. So we'll give him some focus XP there as the extra guy. But Najee Harris and Alex Highsmith were our two players of the game last game, so they'll get the love on this. So let's go ahead and finish this training and see what we get. See if we get any injuries. That's the main thing. We don't want any injuries. We did half pads on offense and defense. We did a little bit of split on offense with the running backs and the tight ends. And I even think we did a wide receiver split. So taking a look, so far so good on defense. With the half pads, nobody seems to be injured. So that's good. The fatigue, we lost a little bit of fatigue with Minkah. With Joe Hayden, 5 fatigue with Highsmith and Ingram. So those two lost a lot of fatigue, and then you lost some fatigue with Cameron Hayward. So hopefully it doesn't affect them too much in the game. Moving on to the offensive side, Najee Harris -6, but he got a lot of XP from being focus trained. No injuries so far, so that's good. It looks like we left unscathed on the injury side, so everybody's healthy. We'll have everybody for the game. Juju actually is -8 fatigue, so hopefully that doesn't affect him too much. That's the highest I think I've seen so far. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the weekly training. I don't think there's any other storylines to talk about, so let's jump into the game and see how we do against the Green Bay Packers. Alright everybody, here we are, the Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Green Bay Packers. Undefeated Green Bay Packers, I may add, and the Pittsburgh Steelers struggling thus far this season at 0-4. Green Bay Packers are 4-0, and they get a good start after the Steelers are driving downfield. The Green Bay Packers pull off the interception on a 1st and 10 inside the 20 at the 16. And then they get the ball back, so they're going to be driving. And we're going to get a nice hit stick fumble. What a hit stick fumble. I think that was Tremaine Edmonds that came up and supplied the lick that gave the fumble. And then we're going to hit Juju Smith-Schuster over the middle. He's going to take it all the way down inside the 1. Almost into the end zone, just missed. And then we're just going to run it in with Najee Harris a couple plays later. So Najee with his first touchdown on the season on the run game. And then Aaron Rodgers is going to roll out to his right. He's going to look downfield. He's going to see somebody wide open and broken down coverage. He's going to end up inside the 20. It's going to lead to a red zone play inside the 10. He rolls to his right, and we get an interception in that play. Minkah Fitzpatrick, but there's a flag on the play, and it's going to be passing interference, setting him up on the 1-yard line, and Aaron Jones is just going to punch it in right after that. As you can see, now it's 7-7. When it came to the Green Bay Packers and their team, I knew it was a strong team. I wanted to be able to run. I wanted to be able to pass when I needed to. But as you can see on the 2nd down and 3rd down play, a big sack, and then we're not able to get anything. So the Green Bay Packers get the ball back. And then they're going to hit Robert Tonyan on a seam route. He's going to take it all the way inside the 30, and he's going to set up his team just outside the red zone. And as you can see, he's going to run a little play action, roll to his left. He's going to have Davante Adams on the corner of the end zone. He's in there for a touchdown. That makes it 14-7. We're driving here. We're looking around. We're going to try to hit a seam once again. And once again, it's picked off by the defensive back as he's just going to nail that and take it out at the 25 or the 20. So right now, 14-7, we're not doing so well in the red zone. Two turnovers, and we got our own turnover there on a sack fumble recovery for TJ Watt, who takes it inside the end zone, making it 14-14. But then he's going to come back on his very next drive and score to make it 21-14. And now the Green Bay Packers have the ball once again, and they're driving once again. And we're going to mess up there, as we could see the safety come down, and he's going to hit Davante Adams over the top, making it 28-14. And then we get the ball at half. Actually, they got the ball at half. Then we're not able to get any points there. So it's the 3rd quarter. He's going to hit Davante Adams once again. Sorry for that mix-up, but we're going to hit Davante Adams once again for a touchdown. making it 35-14. And this game's already getting out of hand. We're just looking to get something going, and we didn't really give ourselves an out there. And then we throw an interception to Jair Alexander once again. That might be his third interception. I know that's his second for sure in the last couple of plays. So interception by him. He's going to go down, and he's going to run it in with Aaron Jones pretty easily. So it sets up a 42-14 lead. He ends up kicking a field goal, make it 45-14, but that's going to do it for us. A tough loss. Now let's check in on the post game and see what we got to deal with as far as adjustments. All right, everybody, we're all wrapped up. We just finished playing the Green Bay Packers. 45-14 was your final. He controlled the ball on offense, controlled the ball, played really good defense as well. Forced us to punt a few times. We had 4 turnovers. He had 1. Actually, he had 3, so he had a couple fumbles, I believe. Total yards, 537 to 367. When it comes to the punts, it doesn't really show. We had 1 penalty for 5 yards. Possession time, he controlled the clock most of the time, and then he was really good in the red zone. He was 4 for 5. We were only 1 for 4, so not a very good showing in the red zone, especially. But you know, we definitely got to play better offensively. But let's jump over to the play of the game on both offense and defense. So taking a look at the play of the game for offense, we have to give it over to Najee Harris again. He had a really good game, 73 yards on the ground, and then he had 30 yards receiving. Led the team in pretty much, well, tied the team in receptions. He was tied first with 3 for 30. So he had 103 yards all-purpose and a touchdown. He's the only one on the offense to score a touchdown. So he's going to get our offensive play of the game. Now let's jump over to defense and see who gets the defensive play of the game. All right, so the defensive player of the game has to go to Devin Bush. He had a really solid game, 11 total tackles, 1 tackle for a loss, and he also had a fumble recovery on the game. Very solid game from him. So he's going to get the defensive player of the game. So he's going to get some content points and some focus training as well as Najee Harris. Now let's jump over to the come on Neff play of the game and see what is the worst play on a really. I want to say we weren't as bad as last week as we were against the Bengals, but we definitely were. We didn't have the best game plan going in, specifically offensively. He was able to stop us a lot on defense, so we didn't have a great offensive game plan, and we had a lot of costly turnovers, specifically in the red zone. But let's jump over to the come on Neff play of the game, and let's take a look at that. All right, so here's the come on Neff play of the game. At this point, they just scored before half. It's 21-14 right now. We're only down 7. They have the ball and they're driving. As you can see, they're inside the 40. And what happens, we set up our defense, and right before the snap, we end up switching onto this safety right here, Joseph. We end up switching on Joseph, and we weren't sure what he was covering. As you can see, we got no safety over the middle, so guess what? He was covering that deep third. So we weren't aware before the snap that we were switching to the guy that was covering the deep third. By the time we figure it out, Davante Adams, as you can see, is already behind the defense. And you know, a good player is not going to miss that read as he goes for Davante Adams for an easy touchdown. And that set it up to be 28-14 right after half. So he comes down and scores, puts a lot of pressure on us, going up by 2 scores. And I would say this is the come on Neff play of the game from not knowing my assignment at the snap. Now, I did switch to that guy by accident, and it's not something I planned on doing, but you still have to know who you are and what everybody's responsibility is pre-snap. So if you accidentally switch on somebody, you know where to be. In this moment, this is where I knew I effed up. Come on, Neff. All right. So he goes in for a touchdown, 28-14 at that point. Really puts the pressure on, and I had to force the ball downfield, and I really can't do that with Big Ben, who doesn't have the arm for it. But that's pretty much it for the come on Neff play of the game. Now let's go see what we have after the game. So we just finished the QB1 situation. It was just Big Ben saying that he felt good and he thought he was going to play well. Really didn't turn out. We didn't lose anything for it. Maybe his morale went down a little more, but it didn't say it after. There was nothing that came up told me that we lost anything. We do have one new injury, a big injury in this game. We did lose Tremaine Edmonds. Terrell Edmonds. Tremaine is the linebacker for the Bills. Terrell Edmonds, we lost for 5 weeks. So he's going to be out for a minute. He's been good for us this season. Stephon Tuitt's on IR. I don't even know how to bring him back. Right now he's uninjured, but he's still on IR. So I got to figure out how to bring a player back from IR. And it might be after week 8. So hopefully he comes back sooner rather than later. But, you know, that's going to do it for this video, though. We'll check in to see what the ultimatums look like in next episode and see how the players are performing. And maybe trade talks heat up a little bit more. But that's going to do it for us. Everybody have a great day, and we will see you.